guy that started his college career at Mesa Community College. Classes are tough there. He went over to Northwest Nazarene University. His third stop was Winthrop. Tonight he's at Texas Tech. He goes for 14, 9, and 5 assists. I'm talking about Adonis Arms and the Red Raiders, who beat number 1 Baylor, ending the nation's longest active winning streak, now held by Auburn. Texas Tech has beaten Kansas, and now Baylor tonight. Number 1 suffers their first loss of the season. Texas Tech 65, Baylor 62. Sean, how did Texas Tech do it?
Texas Tech has an identity, John. Although Chris Beard left to go to Texas, Mark Adams is doing an amazing job. I mean, he has just picked up right where they left off as a program. When you think of Texas Tech, what do you think about? Their relentless defense that doesn't let the basketball get middle. You know, they're icing all pick and rolls. They're keeping the ball on the side. They play with amazing energy on that side of the basketball. This weekend, I watched them play against Kansas at home. And again, they're missing a couple of their best players right now. And when you watch them play Kansas, I haven't seen Kansas play. They made Kansas almost look timid to a certain degree. And usually when Kansas is on the road, they're ferocious. But I think a lot of it had to do with how Texas Tech made the game feel when they're defending. And their defense is outstanding. He's doing an outstanding job as the coach and promoting from within. You could tell that he was a big part of their defensive identity as the assistant coach. And that defensive identity has remained intact. And that's something he deserves a lot of credit, because you're right. If you could beat Kansas at home and at Baylor, those are two of the most difficult games that anybody could play this season.
No question about it. Mark, like you said, Fanta, Mark Adams, the only guy happier than him right now is Kirby Smart.
It's true. It's true. I mean, they defended incredibly well down the stretch in that game. And, you know, what I look at with this game is the fact that they were able to generate 16 assists against Baylor, didn't make many mistakes. This is a night, too, where if I would have told you before the game Adam Flagler and James Akinjo would combine for 6 threes, they'd combine for 34 points, on most nights you'd probably say that's good enough. But here's the thing. Texas Tech was able to match Baylor's physicality inside. There's not many teams that can match the intensity in the post against Scott Drew's Bears.
Right, and look at the points per game. Look at the score. Look at the score of the game. Baylor had a hard time scoring. I mean, they did. I mean, if you look at it this weekend, it was the same thing. It took Kansas forever to get to 70 points. And here tonight, you look at Baylor, it's just Texas Tech. When you think of them, you think of their man-to-man defense. It's difficult to play against. And the identity of their basketball team and the program is intact. And what wins on the road, you know, Arch and I talk a lot about it. You know, if you can take care of the basketball, I mean, play single digits, 10 or fewer turnovers, and you could really defend without fouling. I mean, really defend. You have a chance to be in every game, whether it's home or on the road. But usually it's those teams that went on the road, they can defend at a high level. It just, the game slows down. There's a lot of elements that work against you in college basketball. We saw it here tonight at the end, Auburn. Their defense was outstanding at the end of the game and allowed them to win.
Fact or fiction? Arch.
Yep.
The Big 12 is the best conference in college basketball.
Fact. I mean, it's a fact because, number one, it's a true round robin. If you take Oklahoma State out of the mix, you know, you're basically looking at almost 90-80% of the league has a chance to get a bid in the tournament. And the one thing that's very unique about the league, and Sean mentioned it with the SEC, but if you look at the defenses in the Big 12,
crazy.
It's almost astonishing, which makes me think, how are the teams that are going to find a way to hold serve like Kansas did tonight against Iowa State by 1 point is a huge victory as you kind of progress towards the end of the season. But Baylor's a top 10 defense. Texas is number 8. Kansas is 36. They'll improve. Texas Tech is 5th, arguably the toughest defense in the country. West Virginia, 22, Oklahoma, 38, Oklahoma State, 12, Iowa State, 4. And then you have TCU and Kansas State, coached by Jamie Dixon and Bruce Weber. And both of those two programs are going to defend their ass off as well. I just don't know how you go into people's arenas through the course of January and February and light it up on a team. It's going to be some tough sledding in that league, where Baylor, this won't be the last time Baylor drops a game. And I'm sure Kansas is looking at it saying a 1-point win tonight is gold as we try to win the Big 12, because there's not going to be very many easy ones in that league. But I think the Big 12 is by far the most complete league top to bottom.